Hello again. If you're into electronics or not, you should be familiar with the so-called Internet of Things thing. The basic idea is to use internet to do things. If you're into this kind of thing, then you must also be familiar with this ESP8266 thing. The simplest explanation is that this is a microcontroller that does Wi-Fi. In this 3-part series videos, I'll teach you how to use the ESP from the ground up. The first part is all about hardware, the second part will be about programming the ESP, the third part will be about how to push your data into things big. So, without any more chat, let's do the first part. Okay, the first problem, the ESP8266 doesn't come with any push button or breadboard friendly pins. The ESP needs to pull the GPIO 0 down to ground when flashing, and before that you'll have to reset the ESP. So I decided to make an ESP01 breadboard adapter that solves that problem. Though the process is simple, it's not easy. I want to make it look dope and nice, so I cut a tiny bit of a double-sided perf board. It's so small that the size is almost the same as the ESP itself. I also took 2 momentary push buttons, some female headers, male headers, and a 10 kilo ohm resistor for the reset pin. Now before start doing thing, I recommend download the schematics and notes I give link in the description. So before soldering anything, place the components to your liking. I choose this form after some minutes of thinking. Then you can start the soldering once you're done. And for soldering, leave the resistor for later. Keep everything as neat as possible, as good and as clean as possible too. I start by the male headers that I plugged to a breadboard before for a straight and nice looking pins. Oh yeah, straight. Solder with as little solder as possible, then you can go with the female headers. Keep in mind that you'll need a good soldering skill and some patience for this, cause it's hard. It really is hard. At this point, I haven't made any connection between the components. We'll do that later, so no worry. Then you can solder the push button. Now you can do some wiring as shown in the schematics with a thin single gauge wire. Do yours as good and as short as possible. Mine turns out pretty good. Well, I'm happy. At least. Now how to connect the female headers to the male headers, this is a trick that works for me. Did you know that you can take the plastic cover of the female pin and refill the copper? And I did that. Then strip some single gauge thin wires, cut them to a really small piece, then solder them between the female and male pins. So after soldering, you'll have your result pretty much similar to mine, and before putting the plastic back, you'll want to check all the connection you made with the magnifying loop and make sure you have no short in your board. Double or even triple check with the multimeter and clean the board with a cotton bud and tissue. And by the way, I already finished all the connection at this point. Okay, done testing. I just want to mention that this is good. The adapter size is not much more than the ESP itself, and the connection is clean and safe. Now we can plug this thing, then plug it into your breadboard, and let's see if you can plug this thing. Ta-da-da! You can. Great. So this is the reset pin, and the other one is the programming pin. So when flashing, you'll have to press this button which connects the GPIO 0 to the ground. And take your FTDI breakout board set to 3.3 volt. Remember, 3.3 volt. Any 5 volt, then it's a goodbye. Plug it in. Now the wiring is done. Let's hope for a flawless circuit on first boot up. And there you go. It's on. For now, that's it. The second part will be about uploading the sketch to the ESP. For how I hope this video is helpful. I try to compile what I've learned so far in 15 minutes video, 3 parts, so that is easier to digest. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to support me by clicking the like button. Get synced for the next upcoming video by clicking the subscribe button. That's it for now. Hope I'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, sorry for the delay. I have to troubleshoot this thing. Anyway, bye.